Hey guys, so today I'm shipping out my first order that I received from someone online. I'm so excited. They bought 2 nano prints and I'm gonna figure out how to ship them. And then after that, probably gonna go to a cafe to work on something, but we'll see. I'm on my tippy toes, but I'm more in the frame, so I guess I'll just stand. That's right. I went to the post office and I dropped off the first order. I'm super excited for them to receive it. I really hope they like it. I am so nervous. Well, I guess my first order to like someone that just came across my art online. So, sorry, I'm just like, But yes, I did that. I need to clean. And my room is completely a mess right now. So I'm getting lost in track. I don't know how, do people just have a stream of consciousness? Just because sometimes I just be thinking in my head. Wow, I'm like in the shadow. Let me turn it a little bit this way. What is this, you say? I'm gonna use this for something, so don't worry about that right now. But I am going to work on a class that I am in right now. It's with Chuenji. She worked on like Into the Spider-Verse and stuff, and it's a class that I can do at my own pace, but they do have like regular scheduled sessions. But I got so busy, so much stuff has been happening, so I wasn't able to like really keep on track, I guess. So I'm a bit behind, but as I said, it is something that is supposed to be at your own pace. So I'm gonna work on that for a little bit. Then I am going to clean up my room because I have so many things everywhere. And then after that, probably working on applications for grants, and then I guess if I have time, because I might be hanging out with some friends later to work together, so I might go to a cafe and like work on stuff with them. I just don't really know when they're gonna respond to me, but yeah, I'm gonna do all of those things and start planning, I guess, for SoccerCon, because I got into SoccerCon. So that'll be my first anime convention, and I need to start planning for that. Yeah, so join me in this moment of doing things. I just want to quickly show off my desk. I'm about to clean the entire thing right now, just to kind of give myself more space before I start working on stuff for the class. But this printer I just set up. I don't like how the wire runs down, but it doesn't really, I have Mongo down there that I need to move, but it's not long enough to go through the back because there's a little hole back there. It doesn't fit, or it's not long enough. So that's there for now. I might do something, I don't really know yet, but printer's working, yippee! But yeah, my desk is an absolute mess. Gonna clean that up, and then I will do some other stuff. I'm trying to figure out different angles, I guess. It's so strange. Here we go. This is not mine. This is someone's. I need to give this back to them. It's my friends. I need to remind myself to give that back to him. So, yes. I'm trying to be a little bit more organized. Should I just turn it this way? Cool. I'm trying to be a little bit more organized with the stuff that I have. I'm going to keep shipping tracking numbers receipts, because I didn't get a receipt when I sent the letter, but I still paid for postage. I'm still trying to figure out what shipping and everything is so interesting. So I'm keeping all of that in here, and then for tax return things, I'm gonna keep it in here for all my receipts and stuff of things that I bought. I'm really trying to, I don't know when this was updated. Okay. I am really trying to keep track of all my receipts. So now that I have my printer going, I can go ahead and put them in here. So there's that. All right, let me go back to cleaning. I try to keep all of my business cards and stuff in here. I have like a bunch saved from like conventions and stuff. Like, I love this artist. Can that focus? Okay, well, there we go. Yeah, I just keep it in here. Like, I don't know, it's interesting. I feel like sometimes I talk to them like, oh no, people don't really use business cards anymore. And I'm like, I don't know, I like them. I keep them. I know a lot of my friends do that too, so I'm like, alright, I finished straightening my desk a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna roll it up so you don't really see the bottom so it looks a little bit better. Yeah, sometimes it just becomes a mess and I can't really help it. But you know, tidying up a little bit helps a lot. So this is just my desk. I definitely need to figure out what I'm doing with my figures up here. I need to display them properly, but I will get to that like another day. Also, this monitor is actually, you know, an XP Pen tablet. I don't really like it. I might end up selling it because it's a little laggy, I think. For me, it feels laggy. Oh, it's not focused. Yeah, for me, it feels a little lagged. Or I don't know, maybe I'm just not really feeling it. But even like with the pen, it just wasn't a good time. I just wasn't a fan of it. So now it just works as a monitor until I just actually get a monitor. But I mean, it serves its purpose. I think the setup is good for what it is right now. And then, you know, I just have like some cameras, my DS. This is my Wacom tablet that I've had since I was in 6th grade. This was the first thing I'd ever used to draw digitally other than like a mouse. But my partner very kindly gifted me this. It needs to be kind of cleaned a little bit. Oh my goodness. But this definitely helps because this had such a small drawing space that it would hurt my hands. But with this, like, I can do a little bit bigger strokes, and then, you know, I have like my iPad, which definitely helps a lot with that. So, all right, time to start drawing. Alright, it is like 7:32 and I ended up not going out, but I've only been working on this assignment for this class, which I really need to figure out a better way to plan out my day more. But I don't know, I'm just like, this assignment is very difficult for me, so I'm taking so long to finish it. But I just finished the flats, so Alright, this is what we got so far. I, again, am learning so much from this process, and I'm about to start shading. So I finally finished the assignment. I'm so proud of how it came out. Let's see if I can I zoom in here without having to? And total amount of layers, 169. Not too bad, I think. I don't know how many other layers anyone else did, but yeah. Alright, now it's time for the sketching part of the video where I just like attempt to finish my sketchbook. So for these, I'm just doing some more figure studies. And again, I love sketching with marker, so I'm just kind of going in with like a lighter green marker. And I wanted to do more complicated poses for these. So they're in the reference, I think they're like battle fighting scenes or something with like a gun. And yeah, that's why the dude's butt is out. More dynamic poses. And, I gotta really push myself sometimes, because sometimes I feel like when I look at references, and the ones that I mostly see, generally speaking, are just like ones where it's like they're sitting down, or they're like just like in a very standing pose or something. And I feel like I tend to fall into just doing stuff that's like in my comfort zone, but I'm really trying to like push out of that. And even though like maybe it won't turn out well, like I'm just trying to draw things and I guess expand my brain on that. But I think with this though, I was actually really liking how it was turning out. And the next part is again like another pose from that same sort of set where they're like, it's like a battle scene where they're fighting. And again, like with the green marker, and I love layering, and I definitely am starting to realize like that's definitely my style, because even when I do illustration work, I like making hatch marks rather than just like fully blending it all the way through. I don't know, like I feel like sometimes like when it's too blended, it just doesn't look right to me. It looks too smooth or something. So yeah, definitely this is my go-to way of shading. I definitely think that I need to do more studies on legs, because the person in the picture was definitely a lot more muscular and more muscular legs, but I don't really think I convey that very well with the legs that I drew. They look a little bit softer. And so yeah, I'm like in this part I'm like kind of redoing it again, because I'm also struggling with the ankle again with like the hands. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, so I'll just like redraw it again just to continue the study. Yeah, the weird part, it's not weird, but the part between like the foot and the leg, that weird ankle area, I'm always like kind of struggling with this sometimes, so I really gotta do more practice on that. For the final part in this sketchbook sketch, I kind of decided to do something a little more fun, I guess, for me. So I went with a reference where the person was kind of like in this like cutesy outfit, and it was just something more on the more perspective base, because it's kind of like that fisheye lens. And this time I'm starting off with yellow. There wasn't really any particular reason as to why. I think when the pose is a little bit more challenging at times, I definitely will start off with a lighter marker, so it gives me more room to mark out like where I want the body to be, and like basically more mistakes, because like if you draw with a darker marker, then like you'll see it. Even though I am kind of layering, it just makes it a little bit easier for me. And then on top of that, again, like using that same green marker from the other two sketches to kind of really like block in all of like the lines. And yeah, I think this one I definitely
was enjoying a bit more, just because it was definitely a little bit more in my comfort zone, because I've drawn like perspective, drawn characters in this perspective angle before, so it wasn't anything like too new for me. But I was like, oh, this person looks very cute, and I really like her hair, so that's why I ended up going with this one. I think this is definitely when I start to get a little more nervous with the shading. Sometimes I'll put a mark down and I will immediately regret like just that particular stroke. I'm like, why? Like, I feel like I messed up the entire thing. And that's something what I felt like with the shading here. I regretted completely blocking in certain parts, but I feel like it ends up working out eventually. And with the eyes too, I was trying to, it felt kind of off to me, so I was kind of like going in and out and like trying to like figure that out. And then with like the shading throughout, sometimes I like to just use like one shade to kind of block out like all the shadows, and then I'll go on top of it like for extra color, because I don't really want everything to have the same color. But when I'm trying to understand the reference, I think I need like the darkest shadows to like know where everything is like placed, and then I'll go on top of it. And something I like about markers also is that even though I use like a darker color to block out the shadows, it still ended up lightening as like it dried. So then I can still go back on top with like an even darker color. So like for the hair, you know, and for the extra shadows like in the shoes, I'm able to layer that on top. So it makes it easier for me to see like where everything is, I guess. Because I think the way that I work, even like with painting, which I will definitely showcase in like another video, I usually like to start off with the darker colors, because if I don't, I tend to get a little confused and like everything like looks a little too muddy. So with markers, it definitely helps to just like be able to start with like a little bit more darker colors, and it still lightens up a little bit. Paying attention to the value and the contrast between light and dark is something that I definitely like to incorporate a lot, because I really like adding shadows. I really like that very dramatic look, and I feel like when there isn't enough contrast, I don't know, maybe it's just like not my style, but it doesn't look as fleshed out to me, especially like in studies or like illustration work that I do. And for the final study, I decided to go with another cutesy look, and it's just a reference of this girl in like a school uniform. And again, I'm starting off with the yellow to kind of block in the colors. And definitely I struggled a lot with this one again, but it just mostly because I put a mark in the wrong spot, and when that happens, you can't really go back and fix it. And that's something that like I like acrylic paint for, because you can always just like paint over it, or even like digital. I like to digitally paint because I could just go over it again if like something's off. But in the chin area, I made the chin way too close to the nose, and you can kind of see how there's like a thick area. And I try to go over it to kind of put more emphasis on the darker line rather than the lighter one. So it made it seem like the face doesn't stop like where I initially put that line. But it just kept getting darker and darker. And I was like, please. But I think everything else like turned out a little bit better, I would say. I think in like moments like that, I just try to push through, because I think there are times where I will just make a mark and I'm like, oh man, I want to stop doing this sketch because it looks so strange. But everything else like looks fine, so I just like really try to push myself to like do it. And this last part is my final attempts at trying to fix the face. So if I went in my head, I was like, if I go in with an even darker color, it again would define that chin rather than where the original marker was. And I definitely think it helped. So I usually don't go in with like the really thinner markers, but in that case, I kind of had to. And for the last part of these sketchbook entries, I just wanted to do something that was a little more fun, because honestly, doing all of those studies kind of fried my brain a little bit, because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so much thinking, I would say. But I had these shape templates, these little things, and I was like, this is so cute. Not that one though, because it was way too thick and I'm like trying to fix it, but all of the shapes were super cute, and I wanted to just kind of play around with like color and just kind of continue all of them with all the markers that I used in that original sketch to kind of add something a little more interesting. And sometimes I just kind of like drawing random shapes and focusing more on just the design and placement of shapes and stuff. I don't know if that made any sense, but it's just super fun to kind of just see how to place these objects. And I think it kind of reminds me of graphic design class whenever I was in college, because in Intro to Graphic Design, we had to place circles and squares on a page and, you know, design it and, you know, in relation to like all the other shapes and one another. And I really miss that class a lot. I miss taking those classes. So this is me also just trying to relive those experiences and also make a really cool sketchbook page. It starts to get a little chaotic, but I was having so much fun. My brain was off. My thoughts are turned off. I just was like, color, shapes, lines, what's going on? I don't know, but it's very fun. In the last couple of seconds, I just kind of wanted to fill in with some mini sketches just because I felt like it was a little empty. But yeah, I really had a lot of fun talking about my process, and I hope y'all did too. I hope to see y'all soon, and thank you so much for watching.